Today's guest is John Van Beek. He's the Chief Revenue Officer at Labor Central. John, thank you for coming on the show.
Appreciate the opportunity, Tats.
Yeah, so when I look at your background, which I love, you have the heavy building materials background and then the technology background. And looking at your schooling background, I think construction was the plan all along. Was that the case?
Absolutely. So, I have a construction management degree. And when I immigrated to the USA in the early 90s, at that time, the interest rates were pretty high. So at that time, my speciality was really management consulting and really looking at high-rise buildings. So um, when I immigrated to the States, my my wife's family was in Indianapolis, so that was my first port of call in the United States, and there was really nothing going on. The only job I could get was in Houston, Texas. So my wife said no. So then I thought, you know what? What's a recession-proof industry? Roofing, right? You got a leak, you got to get it fixed. Doesn't matter what the economic situations are, what the interest rates are, you've got to get it fixed. So that was my first foray with the Henry Company. So that's where it all started. And as the saying goes, Tats, once you get into roofing, you never get out.
For sure. Now, I mean, going up through the Henry ranks, a lot of coatings and other products. Was the transition pretty smooth for you, or was there a learning curve? Like, walk me through that.
Yeah, there was definitely a learning curve because you got to, learn about, with the Henry Company, they had just started, they just bought Baycor up in Canada. So they were, transitioning into the air and vapor barrier systems, for new construction. So that was definitely a learning curve. But, in roofing, you learn something new every day, so.
For sure. And then you were with Mule High for a while in the director role.
Yeah, so that was really exciting as well because, Henry Company actually private labeled the product for them.
Ah,
So they were my, national account, and they offered me the position, and just had a wonderful 8 years with them. We grew substantially, into different product lines and different sort of customer segmentation. So that was really exciting. And then at that time, my daughter was in college in Tampa, and unfortunately, my ex-wife and I got divorced, and there was some issues. So I decided that it was really important for me to spend, those 4 years with my daughter down in Tampa. So I decided to leave Mulehyde and, got a very exciting offer with Eagleview. So this was obviously in their, starting phase, as it were, introducing a new technology, which is aerial measurement. Two roofers who were used to climbing up on the roof with a tape measure and writing it all down on a piece of paper, and so that was really really exciting, and bringing in new technology and really a disruptor in the marketplace, right?
yeah. I mean, before I sort of dig into the early days of what you were facing with EgoView, I mean, with the materials companies, what was the key to your growth? Like, especially at Mulehyde, what was your
Yeah,
strategy?
yeah. So the key with Mulehyde was really, focusing on a customer segment, right? So, Mulehyde is a low slope manufacturer, right? So what all of the other low slope manufacturers are doing is they were focusing on the big guys, right? Get them certified, get them in the realm, you know, put your hooks in them with all of your different, contractor programs and, warranty fees, etc. Nobody was really focusing on a residential contractor that wanted to get into low slope. Nobody was offering training, any help, any assistance, with specs and putting together the system for them, sending somebody else to do a roof inspection with them. So that's really was the focus with Mulehide, is really looking at that customer segmentation, meaning the really small roofer that wanted to do low slope.
Yeah. And was that smooth sailing? Because sometimes that transition from residential to commercial isn't for everyone.
Yeah, we really did a good job because what we did is our salespeople were not really salespeople; they were more technical, right? So once we found a contractor that wanted to, or what they would normally do is if they got a lead from one of their homeowners that had a low slope roof, they would just say, "Hey, I can't do it, but let me pass you along to another company," right? So what we did is saying, "Hey, stop that," right? If you have a lead, let us come out and help you. Let's do a core sample. You'll be there on the roof with us. And we really help them step by step to really be confident in getting into low slope.
Yeah. Well, that's smart. Now for EagleView, what were early days like on taking a customer that's used to doing things manually and introducing to this new way of doing things?
Yeah, so with Eagle View, it was really interesting because nobody believed that it was accurate, right? They said, "What? You got a plane flying, you're taking pictures, you got LiDAR, you got, you know, uh, I just don't believe it, you know." So what we really did is focused on channel partners, right? And especially on the distribution side. So, we focused with ABC Supply, SRS, and Beacon, and really, you know, educated all of their staff, their salespeople at the branch, right? The inside and outside salespeople saying, "Hey, you know, there's no reason for anybody to climb a roof. It's very dangerous. I mean, you hear about falls and deaths all the time. And not only that, but I know a lot of people are going to hit me on this comment, but most roofing contractors are not good at math, right? So, so this was a way for, you know, really starting the lead to close process for a roofing contract, where you can actually order an aerial measurement in your office, prep everything, right? Now, obviously, it doesn't tell you how many layers there are. Is there a tear off required? Are there any pieces of plywood that need to be replaced? So there's a couple of items that still need to be addressed, but you could prep a sales guy with 95% of everything they needed in order to stop wasting time with the homeowner, right? So, like you and I, we don't have a lot of time in the day, right? So when you call a contractor and you call them in and they spend an hour on the roof and then they come down, they're all sweaty and hot. They get into the car, they're trying to write something together, and then they come in and say, "Hey, here's the deal." You know what I mean? With EagleView, what we sold them on is saying, "Hey, you got 95% there. You just have to look up, peel back a little bit, see how many layers there are, look to see if there's any sign of warping of the roof, and then you can spend your whole time with the homeowner getting the deal done."
Yeah. So you're basically speeding up the sales process.
Exactly, and not only that, but it's amazing how far we've come. I mean, this was 10 years ago, right? So I mean, now there are so many amazing technology applications within the roofing industry that people are using day in and day out. I mean, you've got everything from lead to close, right? You've got the lead, you've got, hey, aerial measurements, you've got Sumo quote, you've got coding applications, you've got CRMs, you've got Acculence, Job Nimbus, I mean, there's so many great applications, and they all just speed up the process for the roofer, right? You can do every single thing, including distribution now. I mean, you can order your materials online 24/7. You don't have to fax them anything anymore like the old days. You know, you can actually, and some of them, I mean, I know SRS is a great tool where they use machine learning, where, um, once you basically want to order materials, they know your last 20 orders. So they know your last 20 orders have always been, GAF product, and it's been this particular shingle, and they'll automatically put everything in there for you. I mean, to me, it's really, really, really amazing how far we've come in the last 10 years. And everything's just speeding up right now. I mean, all of the new technology that's coming out, I can't wait to go to the IRE. I mean, there's so many new products that I haven't even looked at that I'd love to just, see what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So from Eagle View to a new exciting startup. Why the move?
Really, I mean, I was excited about the concept of Labor Central. So if you think about it, I mean, we've got all of these great processes, right? Tats, from lead to close. I mean, all these wonderful technologies make things so much easier. But what happens when you close the deal, right? You got the financing portion. Well, then, you have to tell the homeowner, hey, I'll be here next week to do the job, right? So currently, again, Labor Central is a slight disruptor because it changes the method of how a roofing contractor finds labor to install the project. So, we have tons of data from the NRCA, from, Trent Contley did that as well. He has a great study, which is online. Right now, about 89 to 92% of all roofing contractors, they all use install crews or subcontractors. There's not that many out there that have W-2s, employees, right? So you have the issue that as a install crew or subcontractor, you want to be busy every day, right? So, and not many contractors can actually keep these install crews busy every single day. So what happens is they then start looking for work with another contractor. So, if you look at the position right now for the average roofing contractor, they may have 2 or 3 install crews on their books that they work with on a regular basis. If they don't keep them busy every single day, then there's a scheduling issue, right? So the beautiful thing about Labor Central is we have this wonderful slogan: find crews when you want them, where you want them. And it's a very, very simple process. Once a contractor's gone to Labor Central, put their profile in, we have both low slope and steep slope install crews that do a variety of products, shingles, slate, metal, on the low slope side, all the single plies. We also have repair and maintenance crews. We also have coatings people, that put down silicone coatings or, any kind of, white roof coating. So the easiest thing, once a contractor says, okay, I've got a deal signed, all they do is go to laborcentral.com. They post a project. They say, hey, I'm doing Tats's house. It's a 45 square home. It's a single story. It's a tear off and re-roof. I want a crew of 5. I want it done in a day. And then they could post the project. Every crew that, depending on the city or the zip or the state that you put in, will receive that project profile. And they'll reply by saying, yep, I'm available, because in that project profile, you're going to say, hey, today's Friday, I just closed the deal. I, as a roofing contractor, want to get paid as soon as possible, right? I want to do the job. If I could do it on Saturday, I would. So in your project portfolio, you say, hey, I want it done on Monday. And then all the crews will then reply to that contractor saying, yep, I've got a crew of 5, I've got OSHA certification, I've got a workman's comp and liability insurance, and I'm ready to go. And that's when the contractor can then either on Labor Central or take it offline, negotiate with that subcontractor. And it just makes things so much easier because now, within 5 minutes, whether you can do this project on Monday versus trying to reach out to your 3 crews who are now working with other contractors and maybe busy for a week or 2, right? So to me, it's a great addition just to make things so much easier for roofing contractors.
Yeah.
And then the other beautiful thing, Tats, is that, from an installed crew standpoint, right? If you work for 3 contractors, and let's just say, I live in Tampa, right? So you're in the Tampa area, and then suddenly one contractor gets a job in Orlando. Well, you may have to travel to Orlando in order to get paid, right? When you're on the Labor Central platform, you never have to leave town because you're going to get job offers, projects every single day. So that's a big advantage for them as well,
Yeah, for sure. Now, I mean, which side of the business do you have to drive? Do you have to drive the number of crews that join up, or contractors, or both, or what's kind of your priority?
Yeah, so basically Labor Central's been going for a year, right? I think as of yesterday, which is our anniversary, go Labor Central.
Right.
Uh, I've been with them for 7 months. So obviously we had to build the platform, from a SaaS model. And then the first step is obviously you have to build the crew database. So I think right now, I mean, we add crews every single day, but I think we're maybe at 1,700 crews. So, there are, crews love this Labor Central SaaS model because they don't want to travel, right? They don't want to go somewhere. So we're having a lot of success in them seeing the value of it. The other exciting thing that, is that if you really think about it, these install crews, right, are really the hidden part of the roofing industry, right? So if you've got a GAF or an IKO or somebody who's doing a training session at an SRS branch in Tampa, Florida, well, who are they going to invite to get the training? It's going to be the owner, the roofing company, and the foreman, right? These install crews who actually install the product are never reached. They've never given the opportunity for education and improvement. So we're really excited in that, I've been focusing on channel partners. Not only is it a great benefit that they're seeing for their contractors in order to make it easy to do work, right? Do that last thing, trying to put a crew together and get the job done. Well, Labor Central is going to do that. But they're also really excited in providing, a great roofing industry, the education and the way for these install crews that are out there in the heat and the cold and, banging shingles down every single day, get a way for them to actually educate themselves and kind of feel belonging to our wonderful roofing industry. So they really love that idea as well. So I'm also pretty excited at the IRE in Dallas next week. So we've got roughly around 300 crews in the Dallas area. We're actually going to provide them with a free pass to the IRE, and we have we're actually going to station a Labor Central Spanish-speaking personnel at both the IKO booth, the Labor Central booth, and the SRS Latina booth.
Wow.
So, and we've been working with the NRCA, and they've done a great job. For the first time, they're actually going to have a separate sign up with Spanish-speaking people in order to get their pass. So, so we're really excited about that as well. So,
Wow. Wonderful.
yeah,
Now, you mentioned that, you're interested in technology. Obviously, you work with technology companies. I'm guessing this shows up in other areas of your life, that's interest for learning new things or technology. Is that the case?
absolutely. I mean, you can't grow as an individual without learning new things. And I mean, I know you and I learn new things every single day. I mean, last week I was blown away by, Chat GPT, the AI. I mean, this is unreal stuff, man. You know what I mean? I mean, you can just give the AI a couple of headings and they'll write an essay for you. So I mean that stuff is amazing. So and I can't wait to go to the IRE. I mean, I try and obviously on my own, keep aware of new products and new innovations. But I love going to the IRE because there's always something there that blows my mind.
Absolutely. Is there anything that I did not ask you that you want to share?
No, not really. I mean, we're obviously we're in the early startup phase of the Labor Central. And, but the really good thing is that, we have some really large channel partners, both on the distribution side as well as the shingle manufacturing side. And, my aim at the IRE is to say, hey guys, we've been around a year, we've proven, we've got lots of testimonials, and really try and reach out to some of those low slope manufacturers. Because it's surprising that everybody thinks that low slope low slope contractors, I apologize, they all have W-2 employees. Well, that's not really the case. Around 50 to maybe 55% of all the projects they do, they use install crews or subcontractors. You know what I mean? So that's really what I'm going to push as well. And then I think there's a great opportunity in linking with some aerial measurement companies as well as some CRMs, because the aerial measurement is the first stage, right? Well, Labor Central is the last. If you look at the CRM side of it, some of them in the project management phase, right? Labor Central could be number one. Get your crew, then go into project management side. So I'm excited about next week.
Great. Well, John, love your story and thank you for sharing.
Absolutely. Love the time with you, Tats, and look forward to seeing you in Dallas.